well, with the change of power in Delhi, there seems to be a lot going in the national capital. Engulfed in political turmoil, with parties lashing out at each other over the appointment of Atishi as the new chief minister. With Arvind Kejriwal announcing his resignation shortly after his bail, Delhi seems to be in a fix. With the political landscape constantly evolving, it is nothing but crucially important for one specific question to be raised here. One that concerns the Delhi voter who made a choice while voting, keeping certain expectations in mind. So who finally is running the city of Delhi? With the BJP terming Atishi as a puppet CM brought into place only to be eventually replaced by Arvind Kejriwal when the elections happen next year, there seems to be quite a lot going on. But the real concern, viewers, is what about the population of Delhi? Amidst the political battle, who will take care of Delhi and its, enlarging issues? Who will ensure that relevant measures are taken to help Delhiites cope with issues as pertinent as shortage of water, electricity, water logging, and even air pollution, which is, of course, on the anvil now, come October, something that's expected to rise in the capital in the coming months. It makes it unlivable. Amidst the various developments in the political landscape, it is nothing but certain that Chief Minister Atishi would have to take certain steps and chalk out certain priorities to give Delhi the help that it desperately needs and ensure that the citizens are not left neglected in times of crisis. We'll talk about this with some people who understand the space. Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS and CIC, with us on the program. Mr. Suhail Seth, Indian businessman and columnist, also joins us on the program. Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, senior BJP leader, also with us on the program. And last but by no means the least, Advocate Anmol Panwar, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, also joins us on the show. Mr. Seth, I'll begin with you. Well, we have a new chief minister in Delhi, but a phrase comes to my mind. It's the same old wine in a new bottle, or it's perhaps the same old wine in the same old bottle. Which is it? You've changed the chief minister, but what about the problems of Delhi? What about the commute from here to there? That has not changed. It rained in Delhi for the past few weeks, and it's been exposed bitterly. The roads have caved in. There's traffic chaos. There is water logging, there's water shortage. The politics can go on, but the politics is, supposed to support the people and the citizen of Delhi. That doesn't seem to be happening. Is anybody concerned about that, Mr. Seth?
No, I would spell wine differently. Atishi would make a good chief minister if she doesn't
Not able to hear.
We can hear her.
Okay.
We can hear him, sir. We can hear him, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Seth.
So it depends on how Atishi and how you spell wine. The problem with Kejriwal was he was always whining, with a WHINING, where there were complaints. To be fair to him, it wasn't as if the LGs were giving him a smooth ride. In the process, what happened was, since you've quoted, let me quote Shaw, and when he said, when whales fight, shrimps are eaten. The tragedy is the citizen of Delhi has been given the short shrift. I don't know if Atishi will make any changes or will be able to make any changes. So here's my advice to Atishi, not that she's asked for it or they care. Number one, there is a clear issue that the citizen of Delhi needs certain administrative and governance succor in the areas of cleanliness, in the areas of water management, in the areas of, as you talked about, traffic management. Now, the problem is when you tell the Aam Aadmi Party that, look, Delhi is suffering, they blame the LG. When you tell the LG blames the Delhi government. Frankly, the citizen doesn't know where to go. So if Atishi is able to bury the hatchet with, to my mind, with, let's say with the LG, that will help. See, the problem is Aam Aadmi Party has always been on the abuse warpath. You don't make any progress if you continuously abuse the Prime Minister, abuse the Bharatiya Janata Party, and abuse the Lieutenant Governor. It doesn't make any progress. Atishi has the ability, the intellectual heft to start on a fresh slate. She should remember one thing. She is not Kejriwal's appointee, although she may be his nominee, but she's the Delhi Chief Minister. She has to be accountable, answerable, and work for the people of Delhi. If she realizes that, she should not carry any of the abuse baggage, the hatred baggage of Arvind Kejriwal. She is not a pair of kharaus that has been placed to govern Delhi, and neither is she a Rabdi Devi, where she should be or will be remote controlled. I have a lot of faith in her because of her intellect, because of her capacity to go out onto the streets and help people, and I just hope she accentuates and amplifies that.
All right, Advocate Panwar. Well, it's important for Atishi to realize that she has a lot on her plate. She's already taken care of a number of portfolios, but the fact of the matter is that whenever the Aam Aadmi Party talks about what they have done for the city of Delhi, which may be schools, which may be mohalla clinics, they do not talk about the pathetic situation of the infrastructure in Delhi, the roads, and what happened to Delhi after a continuous spell of rains in the last few days. Is that something, do you think, that is going to form a plan that Atishi perhaps will work on now?
Vinitji, we all know that how the Lieutenant Governor had been creating obstacles since the time we assumed power in Delhi. And now, while a new Chief Minister may have stepped in temporarily before the elections, but they'll operate under the guidance and leadership of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who has received the people's mandate. And all the development works which have been ongoing since last 10 years, whether it be free bijli, free pani, Vishwastariya Shiksha and Swasthya Sevaएं, the healthcare facilities, all of it will continue and our efforts remains committed to ensuring best facilities to the people of Delhi and return of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal as the Chief Minister again.
Right. Advocate Panwar, you haven't answered my question. What happens to the woes of the Delhiite? What happens to their concern? Mr. Seth also mentioned that, the ball is being thrown between the Aam Aadmi Party and the LG. But what happens to the people of Delhi who have voted Arvind Kejriwal and your party in?
Vinitji, we all know how the Bharatiya Janata Party has been operating since last 10 years through the Lieutenant Governor. They have snatched all the powers of the elected government when the Honorable Supreme Court 5-judge Constitution Bench delivered a judgment in favor of Delhi government after listening the matter for 8 years and said that services will be a part of elected government. They brought an ordinance and snatched the powers. Now all the instructions are given by the lieutenant governors to all the officers, and they do not listen to the elected ministers. But even then, we are making relentless effort to ensure whether we have to sit on a dharna at the LG house for 9 days.
But that doesn't help.
To ensure that CCTV cameras
that doesn't help,
are placed
how does that help?
Corner of the city.
How will a dharna help? How will a dharna help? This all started with a dharna, Mr. Mittal. But this isn't the solution. It's all right. Okay, Mr. Mittal, Sudhanshu Mittal. All right, one second, Mr. Mittal. Vilifying the Bharatiya Janata Party. How is that helping?
It's the responsibility of the Lieutenant Governor to.
Okay, one second, Mr. Mittal. Vilifying the opposition, vilifying the Lieutenant Governor. How is that helping? The common Delhiite on the street, who's perhaps getting electrocuted every now and then, who can't go out to play, who can't, get to work. In less than 3 hours, even when it's non-peak hours in today's day.
Because this is thuggery. Mr. Kejriwal said 380 jheele banaunga, and he's really made them. Every bit of Delhi has got converted into a jheel because of no disposal of rainwater drains, the desilting, these are scams. Government which is only committed to scams and not to work for the people of Delhi, this is what is going to happen. I mean, at the first instance, let me ask you, he's chosen to resign. While he was in jail, why did he not resign? Now, because there is responsibility.
Let me answer that for you, sir. While he was in jail, why he did not resign? According to Arvind Kejriwal, during that press conference, he went on to say he did not resign because that's what your party wanted him to do, and that's why he didn't do it. He defied your party.
Mr. Kejriwal has to do it for the people and not for the party of BJP. He said he rejected the politics of the old order of BJP and Congress and all. He was a new order. The new order is not to be guided by what we do or what we demand. It is to be guided by what he believed was good governance. So when it comes to being in jail, his Manish Sisodia must resign, his Jain must resign, but he should not resign. We had wanted Manish to resign. He resigned at the end of the day. We wanted Mr. Jain to resign. He resigned. Why not him? Why did he not think that what BJP wants? But I'm not getting into this. You see, this is the typical diversionary tactics of Mr. Kejriwal. So I talked to the man about it. The man does not believe in any responsibility, and that's the reason why he had no portfolio. He would do piggy riding on somebody else's shoulder, do all kind of shoddy things and all kind of nefarious things on the shoulders of somebody else. But that's another story. The point is it going to change? No, it's not going to change, because Aam Aadmi Party's supremo is Arvind Kejriwal, and that's it. Look, you've heard excuses after excuses after excuses all this while when it comes to governance. So earlier, no, look, we do not have MCD. Now you have MCD also, you won MCD. But now LG is not willing to make them work. You know, there will always be excuses for non-delivery, because neither is there an intent nor there is a capacity. You need to have both. You need to have the intent to deliver, you need to have capacities to deliver. Somebody who has only thrived on rhetorical jargons and who's only tried to hoodwink people. हमारे यहाँ there is a saying, काट की हांडी बार बार नहीं चढ़ती है. काट की हांडी कितनी बार चलेगी भाई? People see through this. As I said, abhi everybody was saying, Delhi is become a place where there is no discharge of rainwater in the drains, and that's the reason why you had deaths, people drowning because of the water logging in rainwater. What a shame. How can this ever be justified? This can never be justified. And look at the apportioning of the blame. No, it is the LG, it is the office is not working. What the hell? Jal Board is with you. Jal Board has failed to deliver. But no, somebody else is accountable. LG is accountable. For everything LG is accountable. Why have a government at all? Why have the so-called elected government with the mandate of people why be there at all? And what about the MCD? These were jobs of the MCD, which is directly under them. You have a mayor, you have everybody there. Why don't you deliver? But there again, you are not interested in delivering. You are interested in only two things, either corruption or apportionment of blames. You're not committed to people. That's the ethos with which Delhiites have now got completely massacred by the onslaught of misgovernance of the Aam Aadmi Party.
All right, okay. Advocate Panwar, you wanted to respond. Quickly do that, then I'll go to Mr. Azad.
सुधांशु जी, हमारे यहाँ भी एक कहावत है कि किसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोची. We all know what's the condition of Bharatiya Janata Party in Delhi is, and the fact remains that why didn't he resign? Because he understands your model of governance. Your model of governance is, first the people of a particular state slaps you, they reject you outrightly. Then you try and run Operation Lotus and topple democratically elected state governments because you have no regard.
But why don't you address the issue?
And constitution.
Why don't you address the issue?
Yeah, Mr. Panwar, stick to the issue, please. Mr. Panwar, please stick to the issue. Please stick to the issue. The drainage, the civic apathy. The civic apathy, the drainage apathy in Delhi.
You do filibustering, you do deflection. We have asked you a simple question, Anmol, as a citizen. I don't care about the BJP, the Congress or the Aam Aadmi. I'm asking you a simple question. If this is what you believe the problem is, and you're a reasonably bright human being, what do you think the solution should be? Don't tell us where you all are fighting, because we know you're fighting. You give us a solution. Let's say a Yashovardhan or a Sudhanshu or me. We are citizens. We want a solution. We've not elected you to fight. We've elected you to govern. Get that difference right.
Can I respond?
Correct. Yeah. Mr. Panwar, quickly respond.
Let me complete. That is the reason why he didn't resign 6 months back, and he has been granted bail by the Honorable Supreme Court, twice interim bail in ED case, once by a trial court, and in CBI case by the Honorable Supreme Court. And as far as drainage is concerned, let me be very specific. You were in power for last 25 years, for 20 years in MCD. Let me complete. Do not react, let me complete. The drainage system in Delhi is 55 years old. And it was the then LG in 2009, Mr. Tejinder Khanna. He said the MCD to prepare a draft, which was given to them by the BJP ruled MCD in 2018, after 9 years. And it was not implemented till 2022. It was in
you had 10 years.
2022 that
You have
the
10
Yeah,
years.
Mr. Advocate Panwar, you had 10 years. You had 10 years.
This is the kind of skullduggery.
Yeah, you're
we
passing the
have
buck.
seen.
You're passing the buck now.
This
You're
is it.
passing the buck. You're
The
definitely,
point I'm making with you.
Mr. Panwar, you're passing the buck. Let me get Mr. Azad into this conversation as well.
Sir, you are not
Mr. I will. We have to include other guests as well. Mr. Azad, Mr. Azad, your perspective on this. It seems to me that passing the buck. 1 second, Advocate Panwar, I'll come back to you. You did not answer the question the way we expected you to. Advocate Panwar, 1 second, I'll come back to you. Mr. Azad, it seems to be. आपको बोलने दिया सर, दूसरों को भी बोलने दे.
आप जवाब प्रश्न का दीजिए.
एक सेकंड, Advocate Panwar, the show is not over. I'll come back to you for a response. Hold your horses, Mr. Azad.
You are not even allowing me to complete and respond.
I will allow you more than that, but we have to get the other people who are waiting. Mr. Azad has been waiting patiently. I want to get in at least an initial response from him. Mr. Azad, Mr. Panwar, come on now. Mr. Panwar, come on now. 1 second, Mr. Azad. Advocate Panwar, I'll have to mute you if you continue to interrupt me. Mr. Azad, what do you make of this? And passing the buck is not helping anyone. Passing the buck is not helping anyone, sir. The average Delhiite is suffering at this point in time. He doesn't care what Tejinder Khanna did 10 years ago.
Why don't you mute him, yeah?
Can we please mute him?
Mute him.
Mr. Advocate Panwar, you represent the Aam Aadmi Party. Please gather some courtesy to allow others to speak as well. Mr. Azad, nobody's interested in this buck passing. Nobody's interested in what Mr. Tejinder Khanna did 20 years ago. Or go ahead.
I know the issue. You rang me up 5 times to come to this show, and then you are just letting these two politicians counter each other on various charges. What is the point?
No, sir, we are not doing that. We are taking everybody one by one. Please, sir, now is the opportunity to speak, sir. Go ahead.
Number one, there is no doubt that AAP is working with hands tied at the back. There is no doubt that the Lieutenant Governor is the one who's actually the chief of the entire administration. Sudhanshu was talking about MCD, but MCD is run by a IS Babu who's directly under the control of LG. If today the planning is destroyed in Delhi is because of DDA, which has become ineffective and it has become useless. It is headed by the central government. Now, AAP talked about seeding rain to counter pollution in a meeting. Why didn't the LG get into the act and said, yes, we will cooperate on this issue? So I agree with Suhail when he says that you guys keep fighting and we guys will keep suffering. You know, whether it is pollution, whether it is water conservation, whether it is traffic, whether it is anything, we don't have a collaboration. And the reason is that in India, votes are the most important, the parties are the most important, and governance is the least. And because people, we like fools, elect governments who don't consider governance as any kind of a parameter on which the votes will be sought. And that's why if you see Delhi today, Delhi has decayed. Very simple example. When simple people ring me up and say that we have rung up the MCD for clearing a particular drain, nobody comes. Whether you ring up for the electricity, whether you ring up for Jal Board, nobody responds. And this fight, let me tell you another thing. There is no doubt that no CM can function if the IS and the IPS are not under him. The same IS and IPS who show this kind of impunity, will they show it if the Chief Minister writes their ACRs? No. There is no state. So you have to give them a fair chance. Regarding Kejriwal, I totally agree that he should have resigned the moment he went to the jail because there was some time to at least do these things. Now we are doing nothing because February, I think, are the elections. So nothing will happen now, only campaigning and sloganeering. So Dilliwalas are doomed. And as Suhail says, they will keep fighting and we will get doomed in the process.
Mr. Seth, does this offer any kind of a vindication to the Aam Aadmi Party that, you know, everything is not under their control?
So here's my thing. If everything is not under your control, what are the ways out? Let's look at solutions. as Yashovardhan said very rightly, that MCD doesn't respond, the DDA guys don't respond, electricity. What is the solution? Anmol has very articulately outlined what the issues the Aam Aadmi Party faces. The BJP can then turn around and say that while you guys spent crores and crores on advertising, you advertise for Punjab government in Delhi and for Delhi government in Punjab by way of trying to buy media. The reality, Anmol, my friend, is that we are suffering. So I totally agree with you when you say this nahi ho raha, wo nahi ho raha. Sudhanshu has said, okay, there's thuggery, which has been proven. You didn't get bail. I mean, not you. The gentleman concerned didn't get bail for so many years or months because of courts. Where does the citizen go? So Anmol, rather than tell us what's wrong, tell us how can you make that wrong right? A, B. Do we have a solution which is legal? Can you go back to the courts and say that, look, on these 6 decisions, this is what the government proposed for the citizen. This is what the LG has opposed. Let the courts decide. You see, the point I'm making is Aam Aadmi Party is not benefiting. BJP doesn't care. I mean, why should they? Because they're not running the state. They would want you to fail. Any opposition party would want the ruling party to fail. I'm only asking, where do people like even Sudhanshu, Anmol, Yashovardhan, Vineet, all of us, where do we go? How do we break our heads to create a solution for this impasse?
Yes.
My simple thing, Anmol, is you, my friend, give us a solution. Or Sudhanshu, give us a solution. You understand politics, you understand governance, and you understand citizens' aspirations and despair.
Mr. Seth, we are not oblivious of the fact
Can I
that-
get my chance?
1 second, sir.
I get my
Let
chance?
him respond, sir. I'll come to you, sir. Let him respond. I'll come to you, sir.
Mr. Seth, we are not oblivious of the fact that how the central government through LG has snatched the powers of Delhi government, of an elected government. The elected ministers direct the officers, like Mr. Yashovardhanji said, and they, with impunity, they refuse to obey the orders. And that is what happened as far as this drainage situation which occurred in Delhi. The Honorable Minister, Mr. Saurabh Bhardwaj, called meeting 6 months before, and around 7 to 8 meetings were called. But the officers gave incorrect report, which was in fact sent to the Honorable Ministry of Home Affairs, stating that an incorrect report has been given. Then why didn't the LG, who has extreme control over the officers, didn't take any action against them? Because the elected minister cannot take any action against any of the officers if they do not follow their duties. And we have challenged this before the Honorable Supreme Court, and a bench has been constituted and the matter will be heard. आपने हमारे दोनों हाथ बांध रखे हैं, उसके बावजूद हम जितना कर सकते हैं लोगों के लिए, हम सुबह से शाम तक दिन रात ये सुनिश्चित कर रहे हैं that they get all the basic facilities which have been promised, whether it's world class education, whether it's healthcare, whether it's free electricity, free water. We are trying our best.
Okay. Let Mr. Mittal respond to what you have said. We've almost run out of time. Mr. Mittal.
There cannot be something worse than the rhetorical answers I've been hearing. I disagree with Mr. Jha completely. Mr. Jha has said that the MCD is under a IS officer. Mr. Jha, please read the MCD Act, and then you will be enlightened that the standing committee or the mayor have such enormous powers. In fact, the powers to remove the governor, to remove the municipal commissioner also rests with the MCD. So we'll always have excuses. You know, you give me the worst brief and I will still make a good case out of it if I'm a good lawyer. Is being a lawyer what this country, this city needs, or does it need governance? I'll give you one simple example. You just heard the Aam Aadmi Party spokesman say, look, for 55 years the sewer was laid. Is it our problem? Last year also, when MCD was governed by BJP, 2 years back, was the kind of water logging you see today then? No. It never happened. Do you know the vigilance department of the Delhi administration is now investigating the bribery in the descending of the then what it means? That is the reality. The reality is that instead of working for the people, you only work for money, the corruption, the amount of greed which has been demonstrated, and the prioritizing of corruption has been your hallmark. So instead of serving the people of this city, you've been filling your pockets. But I'm not bothered. As Mr. Sohail said, look, what about the citizens? We may be bad, na? Citizens will judge us. We are not going to be judged by the Ahmadi parties. The citizens are demanding. What is our fault? We trusted you with governance. This is 10 years of governance. We trusted with you, MCD. Yet the only thing you do is to apportion the blame to somebody else. I'm not interested as a citizen.
All right.
I'm interested in having all my problems solved. I do not want lives to be lost because there was waterlogging.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.